Okay, apparently this wasn't recording. That's kind of strange. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Leanna. Today we're going to be doing a wedding guest makeup tutorial. In a few days from now, my cousin is getting married, and believe it or not, I've never been to a wedding. Either I was too young, too sick, I couldn't travel, or my parents were invited and not me. So due to various circumstances, I've never been to a wedding, and so I'm kind of excited. This is going to be kind of like a practice run for me to see what I want to wear with my outfit. I am wearing the outfit that I picked for the wedding, which you'll see after I've done my makeup. I'm going to go into the hallway where I have a full-length mirror and show you what I'm wearing. These are earrings that I did make myself. I do have stretched ears to 8 gauge, so it's a little bit difficult to find earrings that are fancy. I had ordered some from the US, and there's a whole story there. But basically they're not coming, or at least they're not coming in time. So I made these to fit through the tunnels that have like a little hole in the center. And if you like these, then I might start selling tunnel hangers for people with stretched ears. But I am going to do a full face, and as I was saying before, I realized that this wasn't recording and it closed itself. It's going to kind of depend on what season it is when you attend a wedding, like what the weather is, if you're going to a themed wedding, what you're wearing, so if you want to match your outfit. And so because the wedding is on October 4th that I'm attending, it's an indoor wedding, and it's kind of transitional weather here, so it's kind of going from summer weather to fall weather, oscillating back and forth. So I'm going with fall sort of themed makeup because that's kind of what my outfit is. And so I'm just going to start with the face. I'm going to use the Ole Henriksen Banana Bright face primer because I want my face to look really fresh. And so this is just a really dewy face primer. And you also want to think about how long your day is. Do you really need your makeup to last? This isn't really prolonging your makeup kind of primer. It's just it just gives your skin a really pretty look. I'm not really worried about prolonging my makeup. It's a 5:00 p.m. wedding. I'm only going to be there for, a handful of hours, really. So basically, I'm just worried about looking nice, looking done up, but not looking too over the top. And so I'm going to use the Hourglass Vanish Seamless Foundation Stick. I said makeup stick. And this is in the shade Blanc. And I'm going to use actually one of the tips that I used in the Wayne Goss video, which is that you take a sponge, like a makeup wedge, on a cream foundation, and you very lightly start drawing that over your face, and that way it just gives a really natural finish. You're not painting on the foundation too thickly, because I want my skin to look really natural, but I still want something to be on it. Right now my skin is a little bit weird in a few areas. I think that's the weather changes as well. And I've been having more migraines. That's weather changes. But you kind of just want to go for the coverage that you want, I don't wear a lot of coverage, and so this tip works well for me. And of course, on the spots that I have that are a bit red right now, hopefully those will be gone in 6 days time. And if they're not, then I can cover those up with either more foundation or concealer, or both. But I'm not really looking to appear as though I'm wearing a ton of face makeup. I'm going to take a little bit of color corrector under my eyes since they're quite dark. I actually do like the way this stick looks under the eyes, so what I'm going to do is just take a little bit on my finger and start putting that underneath. I'm not going to use this as like a full out concealer, I just want to put a little bit under there. But not on the actual eyelid, because then it tends to crease when I put my eye makeup up there. And with my finger as well, that's when I'm going to start dabbing over the areas where I need a little bit more coverage. For concealer, I'm taking the LA Girl Pro Concealer. This is in the shade Fairest. And for that, I will use it on the lid just as an eyeshadow base. And we'll take a tiny sponge to start blending that. The sponge isn't wet. I just grabbed it off my vanity here. Don't necessarily need a wet sponge to blend. Again, for your eye base, it depends on your eyes. If you have like really dry eyelids, really oily eyelids, what kind of base works best for you for the longevity of your eye looks. My eyes don't really care that much what I put on them, so concealer works perfectly well for me, but you might need an actual eyelid primer so that your eye looks last throughout the wedding. I'm just taking this sample of Laura Mercier Translucent Loose Setting Powder. That's the matte version. I'm going to use that under my eyes. The reason I'm using this is because it's not an HD powder, so it's not a white powder. And just in case the other two have a little bit of flashback, no doubt there's going to be some photography going on. I'm going to want to take pictures too, and you never know what an HD powder is going to do on camera, right? And those are really the only powders I have because I find they work well for me. So that's something you want to be mindful of as well. If you think there's going to be a lot of photography, don't use a powder that you know has flashback or you think could have flashback. That's something that's going to like really be reflective or show white on your face on camera in flash photography. And on the rest of my face, I'm going to use this Models Prefer Mineral Finishing Veil because it's not matte, but it will set my face. I don't want to take away the nice finish I have here. I'm just going to use like lightly sweeping motions like this. And it's not a white powder. And it's going to set my face without making it look matte because it is a mineral powder. However, if you want a matte finish, obviously go ahead and use a mattifying powder and a mattifying foundation. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit so we can do this eye area, and I'll do the rest of the face like blush and highlighter afterwards. So I did dye my hair sort of a burgundy red color fairly recently. However, I still do my eyebrows more on the brown side. So I'm just going to do that. I'm going to use a powder, and usually what I do is I use an eyeshadow from the Tartelette in Bloom palette. I'm going to take this one since it's a little bit more warm toned, but it's still brown. And I would say I'm going to fill them in to a medium thickness. So for eyes, I have a vague idea of what I want to do. It's not going to be anything too complicated because I feel like I want to go darker on the lipstick and I don't want to have too much going on all at once on my face. I feel like the Anastasia Beverly Hills Modern Renaissance palette is going to go really well with what I'm wearing because there's a lot of warm tones in here. So I'm going to start off with Golden Ochre up here. This is a matte. It's a mustard, but it's deeper and more subdued than, say, Igneous Cosmetics Marigold, which is a very bright yellow mustard. I'm going to put this in the crease. Scratch that. I'm going to put that all over for now. And depending on the type of eyeshadow you use, how messy you are with your eyeshadow, you might want to do that first before you do the rest of your face. I'm pretty good at not making a mess with my eyes anymore, so I usually do my face first, but that's a total preference issue. I'm just pointing that out because I know these eyeshadows can be quite powdery and they can go underneath your eyes if you're not really diligent. I've had that happen to me, definitely. So once that's all over the lid, then I am going to buff that through the crease. This is just the dual-ended brush that came with the palette. So it does have the shading brush on one end and then the crease brush on the other. Makes it kind of handy. The crease end is a little bit, not my favorite, but it works. So I kind of took too much on that eye, so there's a shade right next to it that's kind of an eraser shade, so I'm just going to take that and go over the edges. It's called Tempera, and it's just like a cream matte shade. And then I'm going to take a little bit of raw sienna, and that's kind of like a brown shade, kind of a golden brown. And that I'm taking on a Sigma E36. It's a small blending brush. I just want to deepen the crease a little bit. And the outer corner. I also want to incorporate the shade here, where is it? Red Ochre. Kind of goes with my jacket, so kind of a matte burgundy. So I'm just going to start stamping that along my lash line. Since I don't have a burgundy eyeliner, I'm probably going to make that a little bit thicker on the outer edge here. Not a wing, just thicker. I'm going to take more raw sienna on the lower lash line. For the inner corner, I want to go kind of sparkly, so I'm going to take this Australis Metallics eyeshadow in Guns and Rose Petals. It's kind of like a ColourPop shadow in terms of texture, and it's just a rose gold sort of glittery shadow. Just taking that on my little finger and putting that on the inner corner. So I curled my lashes, and I'm going to use this Essence Get Big Lashes Volume Boost Waterproof Mascara. I'm using another Wayne Goss tip here, which is you curl your lashes and you put on just the tiniest coat of the waterproof. And then you wait for it to dry. You curl your lashes again, and then you put on your regular mascara. But if you think you're going to cry, you should probably just stick with your waterproof mascara or whatever mascara you know doesn't budge when you tear up. And then I'm going to use the Essence Lash Princess Sculpted Volume Mascara. And one of the other Wayne Goss tips was to use highlighter then blush. So this is the Annabelle Perfect Glow highlighter in Topaz. I am just going to sweep that in this area here. Looks scary. Trust me, it won't be. And then the NYX HD Blush in Amber, since we went so warm on the eyes. And the highlighter is kind of warm too because it's a white gold. And this is just going to make the highlighter kind of come through the blush and make it more glowy and more natural. And the blush is matte. So having that extra glow is kind of nice, especially since the eyes are pretty matte. And the lips are going to be pretty matte. So I had considered a few different lip colors. And in the end, I might end up changing my mind. But this is the Urban Decay Vice Lipstick Comfort Matte in Blackmail, which is a very dark lipstick. It's like a very dark wine. And this is it. This is the full face. So yeah, I think that went pretty well. I think that this is probably what I'm going to end up wearing.
I did end up changing my lip color right after this to the M Cosmetics lipstick in the shade Honey Love, a duochrome bronze berry, a bit more subtle.
And I will take you into the hallway so you can see the outfit now before I go.
My mom and my brother were talking downstairs as I was filming this, so I'm just doing a little voiceover here. This is the outfit I'm going to be wearing. I got the burgundy jacket and pants from a place called Maurice's, and the blouse, which is it's sleeveless and it's got like a little ascot sort of attached to the collar. It was from a place called Susie Shear, and this is what it looks like. I can take the blazer off at any time if it gets too hot, and yeah, I like it. For accessories, I also have this little purse. It can be worn over the shoulder or just as a clutch, and it's got this really cute chain detail. I got this at Ardene's. And these shoes were from Factory Shoe. This was the hardest thing for me to find, was shoes that were comfortable and at least somewhat stylish, because when you're in pain, it's hard to find comfortable shoes. But these are flat and they have memory foam.
Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll probably have this up on the weekend that my cousin is getting married, so I'm very excited, and hopefully this helped some of you out there if you've never been to a wedding or you're just not sure what to wear to a wedding. Hopefully this helped. I'm going to have all of the makeup details down below. I'm going to have the outfit details down below if you're interested in what it is I'm wearing. I'm also going to have all of my Patreon, Instagram, Facebook details down below where you can get jewelry by me. You won't be able to find these up here yet, but again, if you're interested, I can make something like this. I hope you have a wonderful day. Subscribe if you want to for future videos and content. If you don't want to, that's okay too. And I'll see you soon. Bye everyone.